over 15 years, I think it was between 1988 and 2002, there were 40 unsolved homicides per square mile throughout the full extent of South L.A., south of the 10 freeway. 40 unsolved homicides per square mile. That compared to suburban areas that had gone decades without a single homicide. It's a completely different environment. We identified intersections where 5 people had been murdered and the murders hadn't been solved over 10 years, 8 on a street, 3 on a nearby street. For the people who live in these neighborhoods, it means that there are murderers all around who haven't been caught. When you say a violent neighborhood, what that means day to day about how people live and how they have to live, how careful they are, how afraid they are of talking to the police. There's constant retaliation for cooperating with law enforcement, even for those who would want to. There is a lot of sort of negotiating with the violent parties in these neighborhoods to try to just get along day to day. The local parks and recreation directors who run the basketball courts and the baseball fields at the parks would often tell me that they had to negotiate their own personal truces with the local gangs in order to run activities in the parks, and they had to make concessions and cede certain territory in the park to the gangs in order to have peace. There's a lot of fear. Young men talk about fighting every day. They talk about always having to watch their backs and be nervous and be jumpy. They talk about being street smart, and tragically, you find counter to the narrative that you would hear outside these neighborhoods, which is that to be very street and tough and to, adopt all of these affectations of toughness like limping and talking street talk, that these are counterproductive attributes that for the young men who live in these neighborhoods, they're lifesavers. And it's often the straight kid and the kid that doesn't have the street smarts, doesn't know how to talk the lingo, isn't as wary, isn't as good a fighter, who ends up being the murder victim.